the Yu-Gi-Oh off season. It could be a pretty boring time for a lot of people, but hopefully with this video it won't be too boring for you. What's going on, you guys? Slim here. I finally to do a kind of off-the-wall topic again. It's been a while since we did one, been a while since we did a top 5, but I'm finally back to give you guys one. We're currently in the Yu-Gi-Oh off season. For those of you who don't know what that is, that's a time basically from Nationals through Worlds leading up to the first like regional or YCS of the season of the 2019-2020 season. Depending on where you're at, you'll have a regionals before the first YCS. I believe the first YCS is YCS Portland at the end of at the end of August. Also, I believe the week before is the UDS in Indianapolis, so there's also that. So technically, the Yu-Gi-Oh off season will end, I guess, in the middle of about the middle of August. But yeah, from now till then, you guys have time to kind of just do kind of whatever you want. I know for a lot of players, they get really bored. They're like, God, what do I do in the Yu-Gi-Oh off season if I'm not going to events, if I'm not going to tournaments, etc., etc. What do I do? Well, I got you guys. These are the top 5 things you guys can do in the Yu-Gi-Oh off season, and hopefully you learn something. Hopefully you do some of these things. You'll definitely have an enjoyable time leading up to the new season in August. So yeah. So the first thing you guys can do in the Yu-Gi-Oh off season, try new decks. The pressure's off, you guys. The pressure is off. Like, we've gone through the YCSs, we've gone through the regionals, we've gone through nationals, and we're not going to Worlds, unfortunately. Your boy's not going to Worlds. I know a lot of you aren't going to Worlds. I know who's going to Worlds, and, shout out to them. They definitely deserve it, and, I'm really pulling for us this year. I think we have one of the best teams we've sent in a long time, so I'm very excited for them. But, yeah, for us, you can kind of do whatever you want Yu-Gi-Oh wise right now, and I think trying new decks is one of the best things you can do. It's something I'm actually doing. I'm starting to play old decks that I used to play, and you guys know for most of the season I played Thunder Dragons, so it was definitely nice to play something else, try something else, learn new decks, play decks that I haven't played in a while, and it's just really enjoyable. I feel like all these things on this list will definitely be refreshing to you. They'll be refreshing to your mind. They'll be refreshing to everything. It'll make you, kind of fall back in love with Yu-Gi-Oh! If for some reason you didn't have a great season and you ever think about quitting, try these things. I guarantee you'll hop right back on the bandwagon, and you'll definitely, want to stay in it. You guys know how I am. I'm very pro Yu-Gi-Oh! And everything. But yeah, trying new decks is amazing. It, expands your horizon as a player. It makes you a better player. Overall, it lets you see things you didn't see before. It lets you account for things you didn't account before. And it's just an overall enjoyable experience. You can't just limit yourself to one deck forever. I know, there's dedicated players that play these decks, but, try other decks out. It's not going to hurt you. I'm not saying you have to play them when the new season starts. They may not even be viable, but it's like play what you want, play something fun if you want, try something out, try strategies out, like try shenanigans out. There's no reason not to. Like, if you guys remember last year, I made an off-season deck. It was actually my Minerva deck. You guys know Minerva used to be meta, it kind of fell off, but it was just a deck that I played whenever I was bored of the format, or especially in the off-season when there was no real pressure, like to get an invite yet, or go to YCS or go to nationals, etc., etc. It was just something that I did, something I played, and I just really enjoyed it, and it just kept my mind fresh with Yu-Gi-Oh! It still had mechanics that were important, and I enjoyed every game I ever played with the deck, so it was amazing. And I'll definitely be having a new off-season deck, hopefully within the next couple of days. I'm putting one together. There's definitely a deck that I just absolutely love playing in the off-season right now, and it's just great. But yeah, try it out, you guys. Try new decks, try making your own off-season deck, and it'll be amazing. So that's the first thing. Second thing you can do in the off-season is you can offload your excess cards or pick up staples / essential cards. Now, I know that's kind of a mouthful. So basically what this means is, and it's something I did, I got rid of a lot of bulk. I got rid of a lot of excess commons and just stuff I knew I personally wasn't going to use again. And watch, like, there'll probably come a time where I'm just like, oh, damn, I need that one common, and, I just can't find it because, I got rid of all of them. But, that's neither here nor there. But for those of you that ever just stockpile too many cards, it's a good way to, just kind of minimize. It's a good way to kind of declutter. And, it'll give you more, like, storage space, especially if you use, like, a box or if you use a binder or something. You get rid of excess stuff. It leaves room for new stuff that you can pick up. Now, I know you think it could be counterintuitive, to get rid of stuff to pick up stuff. But when I say pick up stuff, I mean pick up your essentials, pick up your staples, pick up cards that are going to be good, that were good last format, that are still going to be good, going forward. Generic cards are important. Hand traps are important. Certain traps are important. Certain spells are important. There's all just the generically good Yu-Gi-Oh cards that I feel every player should have. And this is a time to pick them up. A lot of them are cheap. A lot of them are reprinted. Battles of Legend, amazing. I mean, you want some hollow Prankatops, some hollow Lancia, some hollow Summon Limits. I know I sure do, and they look absolutely amazing. So definitely something you can do too is, either invest in that product, pick up the singles, stuff like that. And, that way you keep yourself ready for when the new season starts, because we never know when a card is going to be good or bad or played or not played. And cards like Summon Limit, cards like Call by the Grave, cards like Lancia, cards like Prankatops. You know, these are cards that are going to see play. It may not be in the beginning of the format, it may not be in the middle. It could be towards the end. It could be during Nationals, which is the most important time. Like, literally, I think that's the craziest thing is when cards see play at Nationals and it's like last minute. And if you didn't have them, you know, you're scurrying around and get them. Why not just pick up generically good cards now? It can't hurt. Declutter the excess stuff you don't need. Pick up the stuff that's essential and the stuff that will help any deck, and you'll be good to go. So there's that. The third thing you guys can do in the off season, and this is one of my personal favorites, review your past season. What that means is basically go back to where you started this season. For me, it was, I want to say it was January of 2018 when I got my first invite. I played my first regionals in San Jose. I played Mech Knight Invoked, got my invite out of the way. I was like, yes. I was like, it's out of the way. I can kind of screw around, not really. I ended up not really screwing around. I thought I was going to. I could just screw around and play whatever decks I wanted. But, you know, I just kind of got, you know, then I fell in love with Thunder Dragon. So, you know, that happened. But yeah, no, I absolutely loved playing that deck at the beginning of the format, and it was just amazing. You know, it got my invite out of the way, and you know, you can just reflect on the whole season, like the events you've gone to, regionals, locals, YCS, UDS qualifiers, UDS, etc., and, you know, just kind of reflect, okay, what went well, what didn't went well, what decks did I play better than others, you know, what decks did I you know, see more success with, you know, and what could I, you know, have changed, you know, and what could I change going forward to make myself have a more successful season. It's like, you know, if you reached a certain goal this season, you know, try to achieve that goal again and go beyond it. Always try to go beyond the current goal you set. Always, you know, aim higher. Always aim for the stars, as I always say. It's important. And, you know, you can reflect back and think, you know, okay, I played this certain deck at the YCS, you know, I went this record, I played this deck at the YCS, I went this record, you know, how did this go? You know, just kind of reflect. And I know the format's changed, of course, we went through multiple ban lists, and that's how it'll be every season, but the ability to kind of look back and reflect and say, you know, this is what worked, this is what didn't work, and these are the things I want to, you know, kind of plan for myself going into the new season. These are the goals I'm going to set for myself, these are the goals I'm going to, you know, achieve and then go beyond. You know, you can look back and say, you know, this was a good season for me, maybe this wasn't the best season for me, but here's what I can do to make it better, and overall to just make you better as a player, to make you better, like your mind will just be more refreshed. Like you're gonna hear that a lot in this video, is you'll be able to just, it's kind of like hitting the reset button, but it's like looking back at, you know, what worked for you and what didn't work for you in the season. You'll definitely learn from it, and it'll make hopefully this next upcoming season even better. So there's that. The fourth thing you guys can do in you know, the off season, and this is definitely a subscriber favorite and a fan favorite for sure, and that is play old formats. If I had $1 for every person I know that plays GOAT format, oh, well, I wouldn't have to have a job, and it'd be pretty dope. I could do this full time, but yeah, I'd be pretty well off, to be honest. A lot of people play GOAT format. GOAT format is classic. A lot of people, in addition to GOAT format, they play Teledad format. They play Gladiator Beast format. They play my personal favorite, Dragon Ruler Spellbook format. They play Zoo format has actually become, has like exploded as like something I've noticed recently, as a lot more players have built the Zoo decks and are playing that. And I know whether you played in that format or not, you know, that's neither here nor there, but people have, you know, certain players have just wanted to go back and just play that format. It was a, you know, it was a different time in Yu-Gi-Oh! And that's one thing is with new formats, you know, you see how things are, but you go back to old formats and it kind of makes you realize like, oh man, when you play GOATs, oh man, there was priority. Like that was the thing. You know, you play old formats, you're just like, oh man, you know, Yu-Gi-Oh's really changed a lot. And, you know, it just kind of gives you, you know, just like the basic, you know, rinse and repeat of what you used to do back in the day. And, you know, if you've never played GOATs before and you learn GOATs, it's amazing. I know plenty of players who never played back in the day when GOATs was a real deck and play it now and they just love it. You know, it teaches you fundamental stuff that, you know, you can apply even to any format. And that's one thing I'll say about playing old formats. I feel like you'll take something away from them that you can apply to any format in Yu-Gi-Oh! It doesn't matter if the deck was a deck. I mean, I'm trying to think. GOATs is now, God, at least 10 plus years old. So 10 plus years later, you can play GOATs now, and you can still learn something from that you can apply to this format. I think that's just amazing. That's the beauty of Yu-Gi-Oh! In general, is that you will always learn something from it, whether it was the, you know, in the past or whether it's in the present, in the current format, you'll always learn something. So I'm a huge advocate for playing past formats. You know, it's amazing, and it teaches you a lot of things, and you should definitely try it out. There's so many ways too. You can also play things like cube, drafts, etc., etc. There's plenty of ways to play old Yu-Gi-Oh! And it's amazing. So definitely try that. And the final thing you guys can do in the Yu-Gi-Oh! Off season is anything that isn't Yu-Gi-Oh! I know you guys are going to be like, Slim, are you crazy? I don't want to do anything else but Yu-Gi-Oh! Oh, I know. I'm right there. Trust me. If I could play Yu-Gi-Oh! All day, every day, I'd probably do it. I love it to death, and that's something I would love to do, but, you know, you have to have other hobbies too. You know, you can do things like as simple as going to the gym, you know, taking up walking, you know, I don't know, get a pet. Movies. There's a million freaking things I could list that you guys could do in addition to Yu-Gi-Oh! Or, you know, when you need a break from it or whatnot. And the off season really is that time. The off season is that time because, you know, again, the pressure is off. You've made it through the season. You had a good season. Like I said, you might not have had a great season. You might not have had the best season, but you know what you need to do to make it your next season even better. And you know, you can take the time to pick up a new hobby, a new activity, whatever it is. And again, it will refresh you. It will make you want to come back to Yu-Gi-Oh! Because I feel like for some players, not me, believe it or not, like I can play Yu-Gi-Oh! Till the cows come home. And I don't really ever get bored of it. I know some players do get bored of Yu-Gi-Oh! They do get bored and they need a break from it. You know, go do something else. It refreshes your mind. You know, you get away from it for a bit and then you're just like, oh man, I kind of miss it. You come back to it. It's pretty simple, but those are the things I think that you do those in the off season. I mean, makes for a good time. It's kind of like summer vacation when you think about it. Back when I was in school and I used to have those 3 months off, I really feel that that's what the off season feels like. But overall, you do things like this, you'll definitely have a good off season. It'll refresh your mind for the new season. So yeah. That's it. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. This is the Yu-Gi-Oh! Off season, you guys. A lot less pressure, and it's amazing. There's just so many things you can do. These 5 things I listed are just like the tip of the iceberg. I'd love to hear in the comments below what you guys love to do during the Yu-Gi-Oh! Off season. It could be anything. It could be Yu-Gi-Oh! Related. It could not be Yu-Gi-Oh! Related. I mean, we all have lives outside of Yu-Gi-Oh! Too, so it's amazing. But I love to hear what you guys do in the Yu-Gi-Oh! Off season and what you learn during the off season, because again, you will always learn something from it. But I hope you guys enjoyed it. Those things, the bell, and yeah, that stuff. You guys know that stuff. But yeah, you know, more likes the better. It just makes the video look good, makes everything look good, and it lets me know that you guys enjoy these discussions. And I'll definitely be bringing more of them to you. I will definitely have an off-season deck profile coming soon, so stay tuned for that. I'm really excited because I even picked up on something today at work while I was watching YouTube videos, and it just was like, it blew my mind with the deck that I was doing for off-season. I was like, oh my god, I have to try this. So as soon as I pick up those next couple cards, I'll definitely be profiling it for you guys. But it's really enjoyable, and yeah, it'll be great. But yeah, let me know what you guys think of the video. Give me your comments on what you do in the Yu-Gi-Oh! Off season, and I'll see you guys next time. Thank you for watching.